all dependent, you see, on where you place your centre.
Yes?
Where is the centre of infinity? I'm treating someone at the moment with a guilt complex. He tells me that deep-seated feelings of guilt were inculcated in his childhood.
Yes?
And he wants to be rid of them. So I ask him what prompts these feelings of guilt. And he says, I always feel really bad every time I've knocked the wife about.
Yes, I see.
Beaten up the kids or slept with my brother's wife.
Yes.
Yes. So I say, Mr... Oh, no, whatever it is, I say, you haven't got a guilt complex. You are guilty. He was outraged. Also, I'm treating this girl for indecision. There's a drug. It's a very mild tranquilizer, which is often effective in these cases. It allows you to approach the whole business of decision-making in a calm frame of mind.
What happened in her case?
She couldn't decide whether to take them or not. Well, fair enough. I mean, this is her problem.
Yes, yeah.
But on reflection, I can't decide whether to recommend them. Is it normal to be able to make decisions easily? I mean, well, let's say you go into the post office.
Yes?
There are 4 queues. You waste a lot of time trying to decide which one to join, and eventually pick one much at random. It always turns out to contain a man paying in the year's taking of Sholmex BP in small coin and assorted checks. An elderly, deaf, Yugoslav lady with 18 wrongly addressed letters. And an American student who proceeds to fill in a couple of dozen recorded delivery slips in painstakingly flawless copperplate.
And you can't decide whether to change queues or not.
Exactly. Eventually, in exasperation, you do. Immediately. The man in front of you produces the licensing documents for a large fleet of motor vehicles and an ominous plastic sack of checks. 6 people join the queue you just left.
Yes.
Well, is the feeling of paranoia you now experience, I mean, the certainty that this doesn't happen to other people, reasonable? Or is it, in fact, paranoia?
I don't know.
Well, neither do I. You have to establish the norm. I was discussing this with Gerald the other night. Gerald's very scientific, and he applied scientific principles.
In what way?
He dropped a slice of heavily marmaladed toast 50 times on the floor.
To discover how many times it would land marmalade side down.
Exactly.
Well, what was the result?
We were up all night shampooing the carpet. Well, I mean, it was only a small area, but when we'd cleaned it, it was paler than the rest.
Yes.
Gerald was furious.
Because he's very house-proud, isn't he?
Oh, God, it's an obsession. Thinks of nothing else. I tell you, Gerald can wear out a Habitat catalogue in 6 days flat. So we had to move all the furniture to clean the entire carpet there and then. We had people coming to dinner the next night. It wouldn't dry otherwise, you see. So we put the dining table on top of a Chesterfield. It's a gate-leg table.
Yes.
2:30 in the morning, it fell off, crashed to the ground. Gerald shrieked at me, blamed me for it. The people downstairs phoned the police. 2:45 in the morning, 3 constables discover 2 grown men frantically shampooing a carpet and screaming abuse at each other. You always do your housework in the dead of night, sir, do you? God, I felt a perfect bloody fool.
Yes. Oh. Well, what then do you deduce from that?
Well, I deduce that Gerald's going soft in the head. What do you deduce? Well, he's tired. Yeah, he's been overworking. We're going away for a few days this week, actually, stay in his cottage in the country.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yes. Yes. Oh, how's Lynn, by the way?
Oh, she's fine, yeah. It's Liz, actually.
Liz? Oh, sorry, Liz, yes.
Yeah, she's worried about babies, you know. She read the other day that conceiving at 28 is an elderly pregnancy, you know. She's 34.
I know this one. Oh, yes, yes. Decisions again. Is her life to be totally absorbed by bawling, bedwetting brats now, or is she to end up old, childless, and lonely in later life?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose.
But it causes a lot of problems, you know.
Yes.
It's an awful thing.
Yes.
I think this is Gerald's problem, partly. He's enormously fond of children, you know.
Is he?
Oh, yes. He's wonderful with them, you know. Deals with them very directly, talks to them as equals. Talks to me sometimes like I'm 5 years old. Anyway, let's get on to your troubles, Pete. Anything you want to discuss?
Well, yes. It's Philip, actually.
Philip? Oh, yes, of course. I'm terrible with names. Sorry, Philip.
Yes, I'm having trouble with a decision, actually. It's a bit of a major one.
I think that is what's wrong with Gerald, you know.
What is?
Damn, I wish I was more understanding.
Yes.
I simply don't consider others enough. Look, Philip, let's leave it there for now, for this time.
Well, yes. Yes, all right.
Oh, well, actually, we've had our 40 minutes. Here. So, we'll go on from there next time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Philip? Peter! Philip! Oh!
We're about the same age, aren't we, Napoli?
I think you're older than me, Ruth.
Really?
When's your birthday?
It's October, but I'm really not expecting anything.
October.
Yes, that's the one that comes after September.
Yes, well, you're some months older than me.
You're not going to start calling me sir, are you?
What do you want to know?
You asked to see me, Ruth?
Yes. You weren't in your office.
I was not. I have come to you, Mahometan mountains and so on. I think you'd better pop off, Napoli. It all sounded fearfully private.
Yes, of course.
You have something important to tell me.
Well, in a way.
Let me guess. You've decided to do a day's work and you're afraid the shock will be bad for my heart. I was on my way here anyway. I wish to be in a meeting. I want to lie low. And this office is about as low as it is possible to lie. How long have you been with Armour Life, Ruth?
Oh,
You must have come here more or less straight after school.
yes.
God, yes, I remember. How you worked in those days. Never left your desk except to squeeze your spots in the gents. What a time of life that is, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
All lies before you, everything to play for. My word. Of course, in my day, there'd been a war on. I look about me now and I cannot recognize the people as being the same. What a completely different flavour there was to those times.
Yes.
I remember spending nights on Hampstead Underground Station during the raids. There was a different spirit in those days. Everyone singing, swapping funny stories. Everyone joining in, all that camaraderie. God, it was awful. I hate camaraderie. It was like a subterranean Pontins. All that sitting round the live rail singing There's a Long, Long Trail a-Winding. It wasn't surviving the Luftwaffe that surprised me, it was surviving the camaraderie. I tell you, one more night of There's a Long, Long Trail a-Winding and I'd have surrendered. I've never been much of a one for joining in.
No.
Of course, as soon as it was all over, I had to do national service. When 20 adolescent males, plucked from all strata of society, are flung together in conditions of abject adversity and are held in the thrall of moronic sadists, an evil spirit raises its unlovely head.
Camaraderie.
You guessed it. The masculine, sweaty, aggressive kind. It seems we talked of nothing but Jane Russell, football, and the dimensions of the assembled company's wedding tackle. At the end of 2 years, I personally felt we'd done those topics more than justice. What a life. Those uniforms. They were made of wire wool and horsehair. I had a shirt you could have sanded floorboards with. It horrified me to think that our men had had to win the war wearing hair shirts. Yes, I find myself looking back a lot these days. Time of life, I suppose. I shall be a grandfather in 3 weeks' time, courtesy of the last of the Mohicans. He wants a wedding, you know. A decent interval after the birth, if you understand.
Yes.
Nothing hasty. I rather think he's planning on wearing a morning suit. If you can imagine that, with a blue Mohican plume and earrings. What a son-in-law to gain. What kind of a grandchild will he present me with? And my doctor's been putting the wind up me.
Really?
Oh, yes, yes. Puts that rubber cuff round my arm. Just going to take your cholesterol pressure, he says. Tells me I've got arteries hard enough to shatter a tungsten carbide drill. All to get me to keep to that bloody diet of his.
It's a difficult one.
Yes, well, yes, you know, skimmed milk, muesli, cottage cheese, salads, black coffee, and 2 bags of fish and chips and a Mars bar at the end of the day when I crack. You like muesli?
Yes, it's all right.
No, it isn't. It's like eating wet leaf mould and gravel. Alice calls it Switzerland's revenge. That's another thing. Alice. You know? Last couple of years, things have been a bit quiet. You know? Underneath the duvet, so to speak.
Yes.
I have discussed that with no one, least of all with Alice. Why on earth should I be telling you?
I don't know.
It's because you're such a miserable sod, I suppose.
Yes.
I say, I don't mean that unkindly.
No.
Well, what's brought all this on is the division of the kingdom. Will I be getting the southeast, or will it go to Biggerstaff? Today is decision day, you see.
Biggerstaff?
Beckenham. Smarmy Burke with a BMW. Came over here when we had the centenary bash.
Oh, yes.
Well, there it is. About to become a grandfather. About to acquire a tearaway for a son-in-law. And now about to learn whether my mother was brought to bed all those years ago that I might be Southeast Area Manager for Armour Life Insurance Company. Now, what was it you wanted to tell me?
Excuse me. Claims analysis. Oh, yes, he is. Just 1 second.
Yes? What? Good God. Well, thank God for that. Thank you, Karen. I'm on my way.
Did you get the southeast?
Bugger the southeast. Miranda's just had twins. Last night was devoted to the choosing of names.
Oh, yes.
The Mohican has a fertile imagination. Tom and Jerry. Cain and Abel, Mark and Spencer. He makes these suggestions in all seriousness, Rolf. He is riveted by the possibilities of duality. He can't bear to waste it. His favourite last night was Lambert and Butler. I just hope he's never seen an advert for Freiberg and Treyer. I suggested, with what I'd hoped was transparent sarcasm, Castor and Pollux. He misheard Pollux, and we almost came to blows. It's horrific. He solicits suggestions. Edmund had an English student friend round last night, so now he's apprised of Beaumont and Fletcher, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and Boswell and Johnson.
They're all doing well.
Oh, yes, fit as fiddles. Miranda's full of beans. I was just only relieved to see they didn't have little blue plumes and soil-encrusted fingernails. Oh, God. By the way, what was it you wanted to talk to me about?
Well, I've decided to leave Armour Life.
What do you mean, leave?
Well,
Leave this job, do you mean? Resign?
yes.
Don't be so bloody stupid. How could you possibly leave? What could you do? Well, there's nothing you could do. You can't do this job. I'm sorry, Roth, but this is one of those rare occasions when the truth is called for. You're useless. You're quite without talent, ability, or application. All you have is luck. This is a monstrously unjust world for which you can thank your lucky stars. If there were a fragment of order in the universe, you would be the only street corner match seller facing compulsory liquidation. The same arbitrary wind which blew Biggerstaff into the southeast management has wafted you into this little backwater. Leave be buggered. If I'm stuck with this building, I'm damn sure you're not escaping.
Well, that's very good. Very good.
Well...
No. If your boss wants you to stay that much, then there is something to be pleased about. I mean, work is very important, and now you have absolute proof that your work is needed and valued. What sort of a week have you had apart from that?
Oh, well, not so bad.
Oh, good. I've had a hell of a time.
I thought you were going to a cottage in the country.
Gerald has been intolerable.
Oh, dear.
It is autumn here. This cottage is in a part of East Anglia that is colder than Greenland. I tell you, Ranulph Twistleton Wickham Fynes would draw the line at this place. We were supposed to clear the garden. It is composed of permafrost. Bits kept snapping off the spade. But Gerald is unbelievable. He's a walking culture shock. He starts talking in his sort of Kensington Mummerset. Stomps across country to the nearest pub in manure-encrusted wellies and orders a pina colada. The landlord calls him the fairy farmer behind his back. No wonder gays get a bad name.
What did you do there?
Nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, never mind a picturesque village, a nice pub, a duck pond, a non-vandalized telephone box. This place was built by an incompetent hermit on the run from the law. We're not allowed to watch television. Gerald regards that as criminal. In any event, I doubt very much if a signal would reach. Frankly, I think what Gerald really wants is a cave and a linguaphone course in grunting. He said it would be a good place for my patients to recuperate. He's off his head. They'd all revert to Neanderthal form. I'd have a clientele of Iron Age manic depressive.
Gerald's actually bought this place.
Yes. Well, it didn't cost much. Quite a bit less than a rail fare, anyway. My God, British Rail.
You didn't drive there?
Oh, well, no. There's no road, you see. You just have to leave the car on the far side of the bog and walk it. I tell you, Philip, it's been really grim. 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 I lost a patient as well.
Oh, dear.
Yes. That girl with the decision problem. She got much better.
Well, that's good.
Is it? She made up her mind to stop seeing me. Oh, well. By the way, did Lynn have her baby?
I'm in a foul mood. I am terminally depressed. Set the alarm for dead of night, will you?
What's wrong? What time?
I'm about to chuck this job. I got a new promotion today. 5:59, so we can hear the news.
Promoting what?
Gripe water. Nappies, feeding bottles, spill-proof cups, and baby's first mirror. It's the Tots and Tinies account.
Baby's first mirror?
It's their speciality. Narcissism is inculcated early these days. They have easy grip, soft plastic handles. Also, they are convex, so the poor little sods all think they look like the Mekong. All today I've been auditioning for the commercial. 57 one-year-olds. I had to check their smiles for the gripe water, their eyes for the mirror, and their bums for the paddy pants. The director rejected one little boy because he had down-market dimples. I ask you, poor kid, I nearly stole him. If I was his mother, I wouldn't hawk his dimples round ad agencies. Have you set the alarm? I've got to be in Bristol by 10.
What time did you say?
5:59. I do wish you'd listen, Philip.
Simon and Garfunkel, he's decided he wants.
Oh, no.
Apparently, the old man's been putting in a plea for Gilbert and Sullivan as the lesser of two evils.
Well, doesn't Miranda get a look in?
Well, she wanted Starsky and Hutch.
Because this is perfectly silly.
Yes, I think they're just playing games, really. Of course, really and truly, it should be Hawkeye and Chingachgook. Is that true? You were thinking of leaving?
Well, I was just luxuriating in the game of it, I suppose.
But you've decided to stay.
And I haven't decided anything. I'm just taking no action. I'm thought to be good at that.
The old man's very upset, you know, about losing the Southeast.
Yes.
Been a double blow with the twins.
Well, he's glad he's a grandfather, surely.
I rather think he felt being a grandfather went better with being Southeast manager.
Yes.
Benjamin and William.
Benjamin and William, that's nice.
No, it isn't. It's Bill and Bloody Ben.